Hello everyone, my name is Gavin, and this will be a video on how to make essentially a beginner overview of how functions work with Python. I made a beginning tutorial a while ago for how to use just some beginner concepts of Python, but I just realized I didn't include functions in that, so I'll include that in this video. Alright, I'm just going to get started. So to start off, let's go from defaults to game logic and go from Blender render to Blender game. And right click on your cube in the middle, and let's add an always sensor. And just add a Python controller like this and connect it like this. Okay, now that we have that, what we're going to do is do text and create a text block, and hit control and scroll up on your mouse to make your text larger. Click where it says script right here and just add text like that. So we can click in this blank space and just add text. And what we want to do first is to define a function, you have to do the def and then do print function. Well, this is so we're defining our function right here, and we're giving our function a name right here. Put those two parentheses, the open and close parentheses after. And then below it, you want it to do something. So let's just print 5 like this. So if we call this function, what it's going to do is just print the number 5. But you'll notice that if I hit P, it's not actually going to do anything inside of our console. The reason for that is we haven't actually called it yet. So go down here and type out print function. And what we should see now is it's going to print 5 right here because we called the function by essentially typing out the name of the function and then putting the double parentheses after this. So if we want to call the function again, so we can do print function like this and hit P, we can see it's going to have 5 this time. Now what we want to have, well, we can also do something else. And this is kind of useful for functions as well, is we can have something inside of here called parameter. So I'll just type a variable, so I'll put the word variable in here. So essentially whenever we call this function, we're going to need to have a variable or something inside of it, inside of the parentheses. And I'm just going to put print variable like this. So what should happen is if we call the function, so print function, it's going to require a parameter. And so what I'm just going to put is 5 plus 5. And if you remember, it's when we call the function, it's just going to print the variable. So we should see if I hit play, it's going to put 10. But if we also change this up, so we're going to call it with, let's say, a word. So I'm just going to type out word. And remember, a string needs to be inside quotations. So if I hit P, it's going to print word out here. But we could put word plus, and then let's say a string version of 5. So essentially this is adding strings together, so it's going to be all one string like this. And if we hit P, we can see it's going to print word 5, since this is technically reading as all one word like this. If you have multiple functions, so let's have define function 2, and let's just have it print the word 2. So we can use, let's say, a simple if statement. So let me drag this down. We can just use a simple if statement. So let's actually just define a variable like, let's say, dog is equal to 10. If dog is less than 20, we're going to call function 2 like this. And if dog is greater than 20 or else, we're going to call function 1, so print function. And for the variable, we're just going to have, like, let's say, hello. So we should see if I hit P, it's going to print 2 to the console, because dog is 10, it is less than 20. So we can actually change that up to have if dog is greater than 20, and hit P, it's now going to print hello to the console, because our function is now just going for hello right here. Okay, that's pretty much a basic overview of how a function works. Sorry I forgot to include that in my last video, or the beginner tutorial. But this is just kind of a simple overview of it, so I hope you find this useful. Thanks for watching.